Hey Stompers, welcome to week 6, day 4 of our 13 Colonies Social Studies unit. And we are going to be learning more about the Puritans. And today we're going to really focus on the difference between indentured servants and slaves. Okay, and so these were two of the ways that people had workers and people that did a lot of the labor and the work in the Puritan colonies. So we're going to learn about those in the text that we read. And then there's also an activity right here that you're going to sort these titles into this box and T-chart. So things that they had in common, and then things that were just for indentured servants or just about slaves. So let's take a look at our reading for today. Colonial workers, indentured servants, and slaves. Indentured servants were men, women, and sometimes older children who agreed to work in the New World. An indentured servant signed a contract stating that he or she would work faithfully for a period of 4 to 7 years in exchange for a paid trip to the New World. The indentured servant would also be entitled to food, clothing, and shelter in the New World during the term of his or her contract. These servants were not allowed to marry or have children during the terms of their contracts. Indentured servants who ran away were punished harshly with beatings and/or extensions to their contracts. When their contract was over, the servant would be given tools, clothing, seeds, and sometimes land or animals. Go ahead and push pause right now and just take some notes on this piece of paper right here. What were some advantages of signing an indentured contract? What were some disadvantages of signing the indentured contract? Okay. Slaves were taken from their native homes, usually by force, and sold into slavery. When slaves arrived in the New World, they were generally sold out at auction. Slave auctions were horrific scenes. Families would be separated, husbands would be sold away from their wives and children would be sold away from their parents. Most separated families were never reunited. Some slaves lived and worked in better conditions than others. Slaves who worked in the homes of their masters were usually treated better than field slaves. Slaves could be sold or traded at any time at the discretion of their masters. Slaves were property to their masters, just like any item of property we own today. Masters were required to take care of their slaves by providing needed essentials such as food and shelter. Slaves who were disobedient, disrespectful, or attempted to run away were punished harshly with severe beatings. Go ahead and take a minute to write some disadvantages to slavery. There really aren't any advantages. Okay, when you're done taking a couple notes there, go ahead and return to your week 6 packet instructions, and you're going to sort these titles, these words. I'm going to read them out loud. Viewed as property, signed a contract, harsh punishments, received clothing, food, and shelter from their master, permanent worker, temporary worker, worked in the New World, families separated by force, received items when contract was up. So you might need to go back to the text to double check to see if these things were things that applied to both indentured servants and slaves, if they were similarities, or if they were just for one or the other. Good luck, do your best, and I will see you tomorrow.